Puja Smarpami Shri Shri Sai Baba Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Bhurbhuva Suvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om Suklam Bharadram Vishnum Sashivanam Chaturbhujam Prasadavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vignopashantaye. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Pavitra Pavitrova Sarvavashtatangato Piva Yasmarat Pundarikaksham Sabaya Banchara Suchi. Om Brahmanadam Paramasukaram Kevalam Janamurtim Danvatitam Ganga Sardasham Tatvamasaradiksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Archalam Sarvari Sakshibhutam Bhavitam Trigunartitam Sadgurutam Namami. Yam. Guru consciousness is bliss absolute. It is the bestower of ultimate happiness. It is knowledge itself, beyond duality, pervasive as the sky. It is the final goal of the statement, Thou art that. It is unity itself, eternal, unembellished, and unwavering. It is the witness of all thoughts and beyond all states, and unattached by the three gunas. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Shri Sanata Namaha Vahanam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanata Namaha Asanam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanata Namaha Pajam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanata Namaha Argyam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanata Namaha Achanam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanata Namaha Sannanam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanata Namaha Chandanam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanata Namaha Kashtanam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanata Namaha Gandham Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanata Namaha Malam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanata Namaha Bhushtanam Samarpayami. Sanatanamaha Pushpam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatanamaha Dupam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatanamaha Deepam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatanamaha Navijam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatanamaha Jal Smarpayami. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Gurudev Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Kandalanda Mandalakaram Viptayena Chatkaram Tatpradam Dashtitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. The Guru creates a new life for the devotee, sustains it, and destroys all limitations. He is truly one with the Supreme Reality. To that great Guru, salutations. Salutations to the great Guru who reveals that state of Supreme Consciousness which permeates all of creation, both animate and inanimate. Om Shri Sanatanamaha Namaskaram Smarpayami. Arti Smarpayami Shri Shirdi Sai Baba Namaha. Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Shirdi Sai Hare Bhakta Janam Samrakshaka Bhakta Janam Samrakshaka Shri Maheshwara. Om Jai Jagadish Hare Shivararam Shrikara Sarva Pranapataye Swami Sarva Pranapataye Ashrita Kalpalatika Ashrita Kalpalatika Apadbanava. Om Jai Jagadish Hare Mata Pita Gurudev Mariam Jayani Om. Naranya Om Satya Naranya Om Satya Naranya Om. Om Jai Sat Gurudeva Naranya Om Satya Naranya Om. Naranya Om Satya Naranya Om Satya Naranya Om. Om Jai Sat Gurudeva Naranya Om Satya Naranya Om. Naranya Om Satya Naranya Om Satya Naranya Om. Om Jai Sat Gurudeva. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. 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 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Akilanda Koti Brahma Dhananaka Rajadi Rajayogi Raja Parabrahma Sachitananda Samatsat Guru Shri Bhagavan Shirdi Sainath Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Akilanda Koti Brahma Dhananaka Rajadi Rajayogi Raja Parabrahma Sachitananda Samatsat Guru Shri Nandamai Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Akilanda Koti Brahma Dhananaka Rajadi Rajayogi Raja Parabrahma Sachitananda Samatsat Guru Shri Bhagavan Shankaracharya Maharaj Ki. Paramam Pavicham Bhava Vibhutim Paramam Vishitram Ila Vibhutim Paramata Ishtara Moksha Pradatam Bhava Vibhutim Edamam Smarami Sai Baba Vibhutim Satatam Smarami Shirdi Sai Vibhutim Manasam Smarami. Om 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 Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurmam Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sahana Bhavantu Sahano Bhunaktu Shahaviryam Karvavavahai Tejasvina Vadita Mastu Mavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome aboard, everyone. Happy New Year in the Western calendar sense of things. We have a slight shift of program as of this is the new chapter into this time for us. This is the abridged version of the Sri Sai Satcharita, the stories containing Baba's Lela. As you know, we've been reading bits and pieces of it on Thursdays prior to. We're going to read an entire chapter each week, and this will last us till the end of the year. I think there's 50 chapters in this book, plus an epilogue, so we'll get right back to it. So for all of you here today, thank you for being here. Happy New Year to you. We'll do the reading as usual, and then end with some chanting. The dedication. Whoever so offers to me with love or devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, that offering of love of the pure and self-controlled man is willingly and readily accepted by me. Lord Sri Krishna, Bhagavad Gita 9.26. Chapter 1. Obeisances, the story of grinding wheat and its philosophical significance. According to the ancient and revered custom, Hamdapant begins the work of the Sri Sai Satcharita with various salutations. First, he makes obeisances to the god Ganesh to remove all obstacles and make the work a success, and says that Sri Sai is God Ganesh himself. Then, to goddess Saraswati to inspire him to write the work, and says that Sri Sai is one with the goddess, and that he himself singing his own life. Then, to the gods Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar, the creating, preserving, and destroying deities respectively, and says that Sai Nath is one with them, and he, the great teacher, will carry us across the river of worldly existence. Then, to his tutorly deity, Narayan, Adinath, who manifested himself as Konkan, the land reclaimed by the Parashurama, Ram in the Hindi version, from the sea, and to the Adi, original Purusha, of the family. Then, to Bhagavad Muni, into those clans he was born, and also various rishis, Yajñavakya, Burgiru, Prasharad, Narad, Vedavyas, Sanak, Sanandan, Sanat Kumara, Shankar, Shankarak, Vishwamitra, Vashnita, Valmiki, Valmadev, Jamini, Vishambayanan, Navada Yoganid, etc., and also modern saints such as Nivruti, Dayana Dev, Sopan, Muktibai, Janardhan, Eknath, Namadev, Turkaram, Kanaha, and Naranjai. Then to his grandfather, Sadhashiva, father, Raghunath, his mother, who left him in his infancy, and to his parental aunt, who brought him up, and to his loving elder brother. Then to the readers, and the prayers to them to give their whole and undivided attention to his work. And lastly, to his guru, Sri Sai Nath, an incarnation of Sri Dattatreya, who is the sole refuge and who will make him realize that Brahma is the reality and the world an illusion, and incidentally to all beings in whom the Lord God dwells. After describing in brief the various modes of devotion, accounting to Prashar, Bhashya, and Shandilya, the author goes on to relate the following story. It was some time after 1910 that I went, one fine morning, to the masjid in Shirdi to have darshan of Sai Baba. I was wonderstruck to see the following phenomenon. After washing his mouth and face, Sai Baba began to make preparations for the grinding wheat. He spread a sack on the floor, and therein set a hand mill. He took some quantity of wheat in a winnowing fan, and then drawn it up his sleeve of his kanfi, and taking hold of the peg of the hand mill, started grinding the wheat. By putting a few handfuls of wheat in the upper opening of the mill and rotating it, I thought, what business Baba had with the grinding of wheat, when he possessed nothing and stored nothing, and he lived on alms. Some people who had come there thought likewise, but none had the courage to ask Baba what he was doing. Immediately, the news of Baba grinding the wheat spread into the village. And at once, men and women ran to the masjid and flocked there to see Baba's act. 4 bold women from the crowd forced their way up, and pushing Baba aside, forcibly took the peg into their hands, and singing Baba's Lela, started grinding. At first, Baba was enraged, but on seeing the woman's love and devotion, he was much pleased and began to smile. While they were grinding, they began to think that Baba had no house, no property, no children, none to look after, and he lived on alms, and therefore he did not require any wheat flour for making bread or roti. What will he do with this large quantity of flour? Perhaps, as Baba is very kind, he will distribute the flour amongst us. Thinking in this way, and while singing, they finished the grinding, and after putting the hand mill aside, they divided the flour into 4 portions, and began to remove by taking 1 portion per head. Baba, who claimed, and quite up till now, got wild and started abusing them, saying, "Ladies, have you gone mad? Whose father's property are you looking at, looting away? Have I borrowed any wheat from you, so that you can safely take the flour? Now do this, take the flour and throw it on the village borders." On hearing this, the women left abashed, and whispering amongst themselves, went to the outskirts of the village, and spread the flour as directed by Baba. I asked the Shirdi people, what was this Baba did? They replied that, as a cholera epidemic was spreading in the village, this was Baba's remedy for the same. It was not wheat that was ground, but it was cholera itself was ground into pieces and pushed out of the village. From this time onward, the cholera epidemic subsided, and the people of the village were happy. I was much pleased to know all this, but at the same time my curiosity was also aroused. I began to ask myself, what earthly connection was there between wheat flour and cholera? What was the causal relation between the two, and how to reconcile them? The incident seemed to be inexplicable. I should write something on this and sing to my heart's content Baba's sweet Leelas. Thinking in this way about this Leela, my heart was filled with joy, and I was thus inspired to write Baba's life, the Sai Satcharita. As we know, with Baba's grace and blessing, this work was successfully accomplished. The philosophical significance of grinding. Apart from the meaning which the people of Shirdi put on this incident of grinding wheel, there is, we think, a philosophical significance too. Baba lived in Shirdi for about 60 years, and during that long period, he did the business of grinding almost every day. Not, however, wheat alone, but the sins, the mental and physical afflictions, and the misery of his innumerable devotees. The two stones of his mill consisted of karma and bhakti, the former being the lower one and the latter the upper one. The handle which Baba worked the mill consisted of dhyan, and it was the firm conviction of Baba that knowledge or self-realization is not possible unless there is prior acts of grinding out all impurities, desires, sins, and the three gunas. Saints and the saints also have their own particular method of assigning the service which the devotees long for. The saint inspires the work. The devotee becomes only an indirect cause or an instrument in achieving the end. For instance, in 1700, Satcharita, the poet Mahapati, aspired to write the lives of saints. Saints inspired him and got to work done. So also in 1800, Shankariyar Das Ganu's service was accepted. The former wrote 4 works, the Bhakti Vijay, the Sat Vijay, the Bhakti Lemaruta, and the Sant Lemaruta, while the latter who wrote 2, Bhakta Lemaruta and Shankar Kamaruta, in which the lives of modern saints were described. In chapters 31, 32, and 33 of the Bhakta Lemaruta, and in chapter 57 of the Sant Kamaruta, the life and teachings of Sai Baba are very well depicted. These have been separately published in the Sai Lela magazine, volume 12 and 17. The readers are advised to read these chapters. So also, Sai Baba's wonderful Leelas are described by Miss Shivabara Raghunath Tendurkar of Bhadran in a small book named Sri Sainath Bhajan Mala. Das Ganu Maharaj also composed various sweet poems in Sai Baba. A devotee named Amidas Bhavinan Mehta has also published some stories of Sai Baba in Gujarati. Some of the Sainath Prabhus, a magazine published by Dakshina Bhiksha Santa of Shirdi, are also published. Then the question of objections comes in, that while so many works regarding Sai Baba are in extant, what should this Sai Satcharita be written, and where is it necessary? The answer is plain and simple. The life of Sai Baba is as wide and deep as the infinite ocean, and all can dive into the same and take out precious gems and distribute them among the aspiring devotees. The stories, parables, and teachings of Sai Baba are very wonderful. They will give peace and happiness to the people who are afflicted with sorrows and heavily loaded with miseries of this worldly existence, and also bestow knowledge and wisdom, both in worldly and in spiritual domains. If these teachings of Sai Baba, which are as interesting and instructive as the Vedic lore, are listened to and meditated upon, the devotee will get what they long for: union with Brahma, mastery in the eightfold yoga, bliss of meditation. So I thought that I should call these stories together. That would be my best upasana. This collection would be the most delightful to those simple souls whose eyes were not blessed with Sai Baba's darshan. So I set about collecting Sai Baba's teachings and expressions, the outcome of his boundless self-realization. It was Sai Baba who inspired me in matter. In fact, I surrendered my ego at his feet and thought that my path was clear and that he would make me quite happy here and in the next world. I could not myself ask Sai Baba to give me permission for this work, so I requested Mr. Madharavo Deshpante, alias Shama, Baba's most intimate devotee, to speak to him for me. He pleaded my cause and said to Baba, "This Anusheb wishes to write your biography. Don't say that you are a poor fakir, and there is no necessity to write it. But if you agree and help him, he will write it, or rather, your grace will accomplish the work." Without your consent and blessing, nothing can be done successfully. When Sai Baba heard this request, he was moved and blessed me by giving me his udi, the sacred ash, and placing his boon-bestowing hand on my head, and said, "Let him make a collection of stories and experiences. Keep notes and memos. I will help him. He is only an outward instrument. I should write my autobiography myself and satisfy the wishes of my devotees. He should get rid of his ego, surrender it at my feet. He who acts like this in life, him I help the most. What of my stories? I serve him in his house in all possible ways. When his ego is completely annihilated and there is left no trace of it, I myself shall enter into him and shall myself write my own life. Hearing my stories and teachings will create faith in devotees' hearts, and they will easily get self-realization and bliss. Let there be no instance on establishing one's own view, no attempt to refute others' opinions, no discussions of pros and cons on any subject." Significant and prophetic title. The word discussion put me in mind of my own promise to explain the story of my getting the title of Hemdepant, and now I begin to relate the same. I was on a close and friendly terms with Kashusheb Dixit and Nanusheb Chadukor. They pressed me to go to Shirdi and have Sai Baba's darshan, and I promised to them to do so. But something in the meanwhile turned up, which prevented me from going to Shirdi. The son of my friend, Lonavel, fell ill. My friend tried all possible means, physical and spiritual, but the fever would not abate. At length, he got his guru to sit by the bedside of his son, but this too was no avail. Hearing this, I thought, what was the unity of a guru? If he could not save my friend's son, if the guru cannot do anything for us, why should I go to Shirdi at all? Thinking this way, I postponed my Shirdi trip. But the inevitable must happen, and it happened in my case as follows. Mr. Nanusheb Chakar, who was a divisional officer, was going on tour to Basen. From Tana he came to Dadar, and was waiting for a train bound for Basen. Meanwhile, a Badra local turned up. He sat in on it and came to Badra, and sent me and took me to task of putting off my Shirdi trip. Nana's argument for my Shirdi trip was convincing and delightful, and so I decided to start for Shirdi the same night. I packed up my luggage and started for Shirdi. I planned to go to Dadar and from there to catch the train to Manamad, and so I booked myself for Dadar and sat in the train. While the train was to start, a Mohammedan came hastily to my compartment and, seeing all my paraphernalia, asked me where I was bound to. I told him my plan. He then suggested that I should go straight to Bondi and not wait at Dadar, as the Manaman Mal did not stop at Dadar. If this little miracle or Lela did not happen, I would have not reached Shirdi the next day, as settled, and my many doubts would have assailed me. But this was not to be. As fortune favored me, I reached Shirdi the next day before 9 or 10 a.m. Bashu Sheb Dixit was waiting for me there. This was in 1910, when there was only one place, the Statwada, for lodging pilgrim devotees. After aligning from the Tonga, I was anxious to have darshan, when the great devotee Tatya Shebnulkar returned from the masjid and said that Sai Baba was at the corner of the Wada, and that I should first get the preliminary darshan, and then, after bath, see him at leisure. Hearing this, I ran and prostrated before Baba, and my joy knew no bounds. I found more than what Nana Chakor had told me. All my senses were satisfied, and I forgot my thirst and hunger. The moment I touched Sai Baba's feet, I began a new lease of life. I felt myself much obliged to those who spurred and helped me to get the darshan. I am considered them as my real relatives, and I cannot repay their debt. I only remember them and prostrate before them. The peculiarity of Sai Baba's darshan, as I found it, is that by his darshan our thoughts are changed. The force of previous actions is abated, and gradually non-attachment and dispassion towards worldly objects grows up. It is by merit of actions in many past births that such darshan is got. And if only you see Sai Baba, all the world assumes the form of Sai Baba. The hot discussion. On the first day of my arrival in Shirdi, there was a discussion between me and Balu Bate regarding the necessity of a guru. I contented. Why should we lose our freedom and submit to others? When we have to do our duty, why is a guru necessary? One must try his best to save himself. What can the guru do to a man who does nothing but sleep indolently? Thus, I pleaded free will, while Mr. Abate took up the other side, destiny, and said, whatever is bound to happen must happen. Even great men have failed. Men possess one way, but God disposes the other way. Brush aside your cleverness, pride, and egoism won't help you. This discussion, with all its pros and cons, went on for an hour or so, and as usual, no conclusion was arrived at. We had to stop the discussion ultimately, as we were exhausted. The net result of this was that I lost my peace of mind and found that useless there is a strong body consciousness in egoism. There would be no discussion. In other words, it is egoism which breeds discussion. Then, when we went to the masjid with others, Baba asked Kakashab District the following. What was going on in the Wada? What was the discussion about? And staring at me, Baba further added, why did Hemdapant say that? Hearing these words, I was much surprised. The masjid was at a considerable distance from the Wada, where I was staying and where the discussion was going on. How could Baba know our discussion unless he was omniscient and the inner ruler of all of us? I began to think why Sai Baba should call me by the name of Hemdapant. This word is a distorted form of Hemdaripant. This Hemdaripant was a well-known minister of the kings, Mahadev and Ramadev of Divangari of the Avya dynasty. He was a very learned, good-natured, and author of works, such as the Chaturvaga Chittamari and the Raja Prashtrati. He invented and started new methods and accounts, of which the original of the Modhari script. But I was quite the opposite, an ignoramus and a mediocre intellect, so I could not understand why the name or the title was conferred upon me. But thinking seriously upon it, I thought that the title was a dart to destroy my ego, so that I should always remain meek and humble. It was also a compliment paid to me for the cleverness in the discussion. Looking into history, we think that Baba's word was significant and prophetic, as we find that he looked after the management of the Sai Sanashtan very intelligently, keep all the accounts properly, and was the author of such good works as the Sai Satcharita, which details with such importance and spiritual subjects as dhyan, bhakti, dispassion, self-surrender, and self-realization. About the necessity of a guru, Hemdapant has left no note, no memo about what Baba said regarding this subject, but Kakusheb Dixit has published his notes regarding this matter. Next day, after Hemdapant's meeting with Sai Baba, Kakusheb went to Baba and asked, Baba, where to go? Baba said, high up. Then the man said, where is the way? Baba said, there are many ways leading there. There is one way from here. Also, this way is difficult. There are tigers and wolves in the jungle on the way. Kakusheb asked, but Baba, what if we take a guide with us? Baba answered, then there is no difficulty. The guide will take you straight to your destination, avoiding wolves, tigers, and ditches. On the way, if there is no guide, there will be danger, and you're being lost in the jungle or falling in the ditches. Mr. Doublecar was present on this occasion, and he thought that this was the answer Baba gave to the question whether Guru is necessary. And he, therefore, took a hint that no discussion whether man is free or bound is any of a spiritual matter, but on contrary, The real Paramartha is possible only as the result of the teachings of the Guru. As is illustrated in this chapter of the original work, in the instances of the great avatars like Ram and Krishna, who had to submit themselves to their gurus, Vashita and Sandripani, respectively, for getting self-realization, and that the only virtues necessary for such progress are faith and patience, Shraddha, Suburi. Bow to Sri Sai, peace be to all. Guru, Jaya Guru, Jaya Gurudev. Om Guru, Om Guru, Om Gurudev. Om Guru, Om Guru, Om Gurudev. Jaya Guru, Jaya Guru, Jaya 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 Gurudev. Jaya Guru, Jaya Jaya Guru, Jaya Guru, Jaya Gurudev. 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 Jai Guru. Pranam to Shri Sai Maharaj Ki Jai. Auspicious moments for all of us as we transition towards the full moon tomorrow. This new year, starting the day out on a Thursday with the Holy Lord himself and his introductions of the Sai Satcharita. May everyone here, now and later, receive Baba's blessings always and forever. When you see Baba, Baba sees you. When you take one step towards Baba, Baba takes 3 towards you. This is the power of the Satguru. There is only one. Om Tat Sat Om. Jai Ma.